Hi, and welcome to Minivan Camper Building with Leslie. How's it going? I'm coming at you from the van, and it's a beautiful day to be in here. There's road construction going on outside. There's garbage trucks all over the place. So forgive me if it gets a little noisy. We're going to try to keep it nice and chill. If this is your first time here, welcome. I'm Leslie, and I built out our minivan into a camper. I'll show you how to do it too, if you're so inclined. So while you're here, why don't you go ahead and subscribe? We can keep in touch that way, and I will answer every single question I possibly can. So get in that comment section and ask anything that's on your mind about the camper build or whatever. Today we're going to talk about how to avoid feeling nasty, gross, grody, less than human when you're on the road in your camper van. If you've ever done any kind of camping, you know what I mean. Your routine is not the same. It's hard to keep up on feeling good, looking good, and just plain taking care of yourself. This goes for both guys and girls. So let's see what, I didn't ask Michael to prepare anything for this, but let's just see what he's got over on his side here. So yeah, that's about it. Michael, wait a minute. Yeah, Michael is rolling with, for self-care stuff, floss picks. Very important. A mini toothpaste and toothbrush, and yeah. And that's it. So there you go, guys. There's your lesson for the day. Just roll with all that and you're good. Okay, ladies, let's talk. I generally try to minimize, it's camping. It's me. I'm minimizing, right? Trying to cut down. I'm definitely not bringing like a whole cabinet's worth of items with me when I'm traveling, but I do want to bring the right things, and I do want to feel good when I'm on the road. You might be spending time out in the hot sun, dry weather, cold weather, if you're into that. This is going to have an effect on your skin, on just the way you feel in general. Maybe you're more dehydrated and that shows up in your skin as well, your hair, all that stuff. So I found it was really important for me, just so I felt human, just to achieve the level of feeling human. I wanted to bring just a certain few things that would really help me. I'll show you what those are. The first thing I want to introduce you to, you may have seen it before, but it's my travel toiletries bag. And it's great. It holds all kinds of little mini things. And I'll show you what's in it one by one. The first thing on the top, I don't know why I brought this. Okay, I thought this is like a mirror. One side is magnified, one side is not. And I thought to myself, I'm going to use this all the time. It's a mini mirror. I have never used this once. I swear to God. I just happen to have it because it fits and it doesn't take up hardly any room. Another thing I have used very rarely is this little sewing repair kit. A great idea, right? It's got little safety pins and some threads and needles and stuff. A tiny little scissors. It's pretty cute. However, I have never used this thing even once. Maybe it's time to rethink carrying these things. In the next bag, I carry my razor. I like to carry it in a little zipper bag just because it doesn't fall out, lose the cap, and then become a hazard. Not cool. So it stays in a little zippered pack along with a couple of Band-Aids and some lip balm. Very handy to have within reach. The reason I like to hang this on the back of the arch that goes in back of the seats is that it's really easily accessible. If I'm riding in the passenger seat, I can reach over and take something out of it. If I'm back here in the bed, or if the bed's in a bench, I also have easy access to it. And that way, if I have access to it, I will use it. Because part of the problem, let's be honest, when you're packing things that you want to use, but you store them somewhere where it's tucked away, it's out of reach, and when you think, oh yeah, I want to use that thing, but it just takes an effort to get up, find it, go unpack it, or take it out of the nook that it's tucked away in, you're less likely to use that thing. So it really, for me, it really helps as part of the system to have something that's always within arm's reach. The next couple of things I always travel with: a nail clipper, a tweezers, just here within arm's reach, always accessible. And then we start getting into more toiletries. You ready for the toiletries? Obviously, a little bit of deodorant. This is not the only deodorant I keep in this van. Deodorants are in a number of places. And again, because, oh, I want deodorant. Well, that gets right there within arm's reach. So it helps, for me, it helps to have the things I'm going to use a lot in a couple of different spots so they don't get ignored. I also travel with a small, this is not the brand of shampoo that I have in here, but this is just a convenient little container. So I poured the shampoo in here that I do use, and I'll show you that shampoo in just a minute. But this container fits perfectly into the toiletries bag. The next, oh, I don't need this anymore. This is some root cover up, which I was working with for a while. I definitely don't need this, but it did come in handy, and it was really portable when I needed it. It was just for that in-between time when I first started growing out the silver. And have you ever done this? Yeah, and at first you have a half an inch or so, and it looks weird, so the touch-up's fine. But then at some point, it just becomes, it takes on its own life, and cover-up doesn't do it anymore, so you just got to dive in and go. So here we are. I love it. Also in the toiletries bag, just a couple of handy things like some allergy medicine and Advil, very handy to have. And then I carry some of these very convenient travel size, here we go, some travel size little containers. Super handy. They have a wide mouth. You can unscrew them and fill in anything you like. The only thing is you have to remember what you put in them because there are no labels. I guess you could put a label on if you wanted to, or you could just try to remember what it is you have in here. Very handy. I believe that they are also airline compatible. If you find you're heading out somewhere on a trip, you're taking a flight, you're good to go. Fill up what you need in here, pack it in your toiletries bag, and you're off. Very handy. I also keep a couple of much smaller little containers. These are good for just tiny little things you're going to need a very little bit of. And this I'm going to show you right now. I'll show you that in a minute because it's really cool. And I just want to build some anticipation. So that's what I'm rocking here in my toiletries bag. But as I mentioned, I also keep things in various other places. One of those other places is back here in the shelf. Let's go. In the shelf on my side of the bed, I keep a couple of these. They're like a rubbery plastic container. They are super handy. They fit in there perfectly, and they hold a ton of stuff. They're also plastic, so they're not collecting any moisture. By having all these things right here next to the bed, it means I have no excuse but to use them when I'm sitting in bed, I'm just lounging on the bench, but I still have access to a bunch of goodies. What are those goodies? I'm glad you asked. The first goodie I'm going to show you is my shampoo. This is a shampoo I never knew existed, but now that I have it, I can't live without it. My sister sent it to me. Thank you, sis. And it's amazing. It's sort of an anti-aging, replenishing moisture shampoo. It's supposed to be very good for color treated hair. It worked great when I was color treating my hair, but I'm continuing to use it because I love it so much. And it is this stuff right here. It's called Caviar. It's called Alterna Caviar Anti-Aging. It's really good. I am continuing to use this, but I don't travel with this big container. What I do is put some in this little one, and that way I've got a tinier version of it that's easily packable. No surprise, another deodorant, because why not have two within arm's reach? If one's good, two's better. I want to talk about sunscreen because sun damage is starting to show itself, and now, of course, I'm wise enough to want to try to reverse that. So I tried some sunscreen, and then I consulted with an esthetician who asked me, do you use sunscreen? I said, yes, I do. Oh no, it doesn't have any zinc oxide in it. Well, who knew? So I went out and I got some sunscreen with zinc oxide. Next time I visited my esthetician, how's the sunscreen going? Great, I've got this and it has zinc oxide in it. And she looked and she said, no, this is only 4% zinc oxide. So like what? What are you supposed to do? Please tell me exactly how much zinc oxide should be in my sunscreen. She said, you want 20%, 18, 20%, something like that, just up as high as you can go with the zinc oxide. She may not have used those exact numbers, but I'm here to tell you my process. And I'm certainly not prescribing this particularly for you. I just want to tell you what I'm doing, and maybe it works for you, maybe not. So I decided to look around. Yeah, let's try this stuff. This is 20% zinc oxide. It's cool because it also has a tint to it. And I like the tint because it acts like sort of a makeup, like a foundation. For this in particular, much too dark for my skin. So in order to match what I need, I went out and I discovered also this Coppertone Pure and Simple. This has 24%. Wait, 24.08, I think. It's really tiny and my glasses aren't that strong. But 24% at least zinc oxide. I figured my esthetician would approve. So I take these two, I mix them together so that I can find a shade that matches my skin. I have it on now. It looks good, right? Yeah. Anyway, so that's what I'm working with. Now, kind of bulky when you're camping, right? To work with these two things. No, because I mix them together. I put them in a little container and that way, good to go. Okay, let's talk about when I first discovered facials about a couple of years ago. I know, but I never really had them. Anyway, I tried facials and loved them. Upon a good recommendation, again, from my sister, she said, find those products that your facial spa, or whatever it's called, recommends, and see if you like them. And use them properly the way they're instructed. So I did. I went to a spa that carries this stuff. It's called Eminence. It's organic. It's from Hungary. So what's not to love? Really, the reason I mainly love it is because it just feels so nurturing. It feels so healthy. I try to use the cleanser as often as I can remember when I'm camping. I will put something like this into a smaller container, and that way it's always available when I'm in the camper van. They also have this cool, what's it called? A Dermafoliant. Really, it's a scrub. It's like a little fine scrub, a strawberry rhubarby thing. This, I kind of balked at the price of this, of really any of these. This line is not cheap, but I figured I'm 55 now. I need to get serious about this. So, let's step it up. This stuff is worth it. Overall, if you're serious about skincare, I think spending some money on some really decent products that you personally like and that seem to really work for you and just make you feel good when you use them, that is worth it. This is a little scrub that I think this is 4.2 ounces, and this is already, it's about maybe a half full at this point. It has lasted me forever, at least a year, maybe even more. So when you think about some of this stuff as being, well, that's really pricey. Yeah, but what if it lasts you a year and a half or 2 years? I don't know how often you would use this. I use this about once a week or so. That's my new perspective on where my money is best spent in my life. Continuing with that, a couple more things. Well, 2 more things from the same brand that I totally love. And okay, just a booster, like a firm skin thing. The reason I travel with it is because it's compact and it's easy to use, so a no-brainer. And the eye serum. I also use their eye serum. Again, this tiny thing, it's 1 ounce, but it lasts forever because how much eye serum you're going to use, right? A couple of dabs and you're good. It's always within reach, and I have no excuse not to reach over and just use it. Oh, that little bitty container that I held back as a surprise. This is a night cream thing, also by Eminence, a mango night cream, which I love. When I got a sample from the spa, I saved the little container so I could just take various little Eminence products and fill it up. And the reason I wanted to do it is because this is a perfect size for traveling, especially if you're just going on a short trip. These were recommended to me by my optometrist. It's just like refresh tears, and apparently this is why my eyes were red. I was trying Visine. Apparently Visine was making my eyes more red. Who knew? But these are great. And so yes, I do have them in various places all around the van, because when your eyes get dry, there's nothing like it, right? It's so uncomfortable. And when we spent some extended time out in the Southwest, Arizona, New Mexico, and Southern California, the deserts of Southern California, and the mountains, and the mountains of sand. So dry air everywhere. Oh yeah, so these came in really handy, and I'm so glad I had them all over the van. What else is in here? We've got just a couple of things I picked up just to try out. Jury's still out, but I've got something called a Derma overnight peel. I don't know. I just picked it up and tried it. It's a 2 ounce container. It's very van size. So this is something you use like once a week, put it on at night, and then wake up and kind of wash it off. I don't know. Hasn't hurt yet, but I haven't seen a huge improvement. And then I also got some oil, some Rosehip seed oil. I think it's like a vitamin C kind of thing. I decided I would try an oil mainly because I was getting desperate there out in the desert. It was just getting so dry, and I wanted something that would just drench my skin and I could slather all over my face and then just lie there for a while before I go to bed to let it all soak in and restore my skin. Especially being out in the desert, this is just something I picked up somewhere. I think it's some random beauty store on the road. That's what it looks like. And this is that overnight peel. Yeah, anyway, that's what's going on there. And one last thing is this conditioner. I never thought I would have such a crush on a conditioner, but I do. This is Matrix something. I think it's like a hair mask. Yeah, they call it a hair mask, so whatever. I don't know this stuff. But I think you use it once a week. You just leave it in your hair for a minute. It is the bomb. It's, again, just hair care, right? This other stuff, the right shampoo, the right hair mask or whatever can just take you next level. You're going to wash your hair anyway. Why not do it with stuff that really makes you feel good? And that way It elevates your camping experience. So instead of feeling grungy or nasty or just like you're just getting by using basic products, why? If you're going to use a product out when you're camping anyway, make sure it's a good one. And you know what? If you've never upgraded yourself in terms of products, then now might be a great time. You're going to need a little extra self-care on the road. When you feel good, you're going to enjoy your trip more. Believe me. Well, that's about everything and more that I carry with me in the van. So if you have any of your favorites that you like. Oh, wait, I forgot. One more thing. While I'm here in the van, Lilinor had asked about carrying shoes. So let me put up a picture here of what I do on the back of the passenger's seat to hold not only shoes, but, other things as well. So here you go. Always good hanging out with you, and I'll see you next time.